Hello, crocheters. Thank you so much for stopping by. It's Janet with crochetpatternsforbeginners.com. Today we are going to learn how to make or use a pom-pom maker. I have a link to this below. We use these quite often now. Pom-poms are just so on trend, and it seems like everybody's wearing them. They're a unisex thing. Everybody likes pom-poms, so let's just go ahead and learn how to use this simple tool that will help you create them quickly and neatly. All right, this is a medium one. I have a set that just has 4 different sizes. I've had it now for a couple years, and as you can see, I use it, I use it at least once a week. It's in really good shape, and this one has lasted, so I highly recommend the set that I'm going to link to at Amazon below. But let's get started. Okay, basically what a pom-pom maker is it's a circle, and then it's got 2 parts to it. And when you finish your pom-pom, then you take it apart, and then you just put it back together and get ready for the next one. Okay, so there's 2 halves basically. And what you want to do is you want to start with the first half. And what I like to do is I like to start with my end out, because that's, where it's got to go anyway. You're going to cut these eventually. So I just start with my end out. It's just easier that way. And then I basically you just wind your yarn around, and you want to get it, close together, because you want your pom-pom to be really full. You don't want a weak pom-pom. You don't want a pom-pom that looks cheap. Oh, I forgot to tell you, you need a sharp pair of scissors. Okay, so you got your pom-pom maker, yarn. I'm using worsted weight number 4. You need about anywhere between, depending on the size of the pom-pom that you're making, anywhere between 30 and 50 yards. Okay, so like I said, we're just winding our yarn right around our little maker here. And we'll give you a tip. The one thing that you do want to do is the edges, just go slow, get it in there, and make sure that you've got yarn there, because a lot of times people they want to get it done so fast, they just get winding, and it's repetitive, and anything that's repetitive is easy, right? So people just kind of tend to not put enough yarn in the corners, and your pom-pom just looks, wonky. And you don't want that. You're taking the time to make this, and you're probably making it for somebody else, or even if you're making it for yourself, care for yourself, love yourself enough to make something nice. So just get it right in the corners. Just make sure you got plenty of yarn there. I always just really slow down so I can get it in there. And then just keep going. And to me, I am done when I go to close it, and I kind of have to give it a little push to close it. And I'll show you what I mean here in a second. Okay, see, that just closes way too easily. Look how much space I have there. That's saying make your pom-pom thicker. So just keep wrapping your yarn. And once you lay down like your first row, or your first, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, wrap all the way around, it does get easier. Just keep following, keep making it as full as you possibly can. Like I said, this part does get tricky right here. Just slow down and just take your time with it. And now we're starting to get a little chubby, which is good. You can see like a little area here and there where you might need to put a little more yarn. It's not as full as the other places. And then again, I'm going into the corner. I'm just taking my time, just getting right in there, making sure that my pom is nice and full. And that's what you want. You want a nice full pom-pom. Just make sure that you kind of keep track of, your rows as far as that goes, like where you're at in the process. On my last wind, I really look to see if there's any like gaps anywhere, any places that I can fill that just don't look as full. Okay, now see? Now there's no space in between this outer part and your inner. So just cut that off right there. Okay, and really make sure that you have a sharp pair of scissors, guys, because if you have a blunt pair, it's not going to work. You're going to be miserable, really. So just go ahead, and I like to wrap this way, so if I have to, what I do is I'll put this up here, and I know that it's as long as it needs to be for the starter. Just doesn't want to go today. It's okay. All right, so we're just going to do the same thing over here. Just wrap, 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 wrap until we get it the same fullness as our other one, and we'll check it when we get to that point. But you know, we got to wrap it at least 4 or 5 more times before we're where we were to the first one, to the first half, because you want your halves to be, you know, as equal as you can possibly get them. Of course, we're going to get right into that corner there. Keep going. These little tools are really helpful. It's nice when you have something that actually works. You know, how many people see things on TV or places like that where it just doesn't work. But these really work. These are great. These work. Okay, just keep wrapping, wrapping, and wrapping, and wrapping, and wrapping. Get it in the corners really nicely. Wrapping, 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 wrapping. Okay. Right in the corners. Now let's compare and see what we've got here. Okay. We're right there. We're going to have a nice pom-pom out of this one. Okay. So we want to go ahead and we want to just trim off our tail here. Right there. Okay, so now what you're going to do is see this space right here? It's like in between where we pull it out. Okay, that's where we want to insert our scissors. And then we're just going to cut that free. All you're doing is freeing your yarn to make the pom. And make sure you've got that space so that you can see it. And like I said, you notice these scissors are cutting right through this, and they're doing their job. They're sharp. And that's what they're supposed to do. Okay, so now we can see that. All right, let's just go ahead and let's just do the same thing over here. Insert your scissors into that center space. Just go ahead and cut. Make sure that you're separated. And just kind of hold it together by squeezing it. You don't want it to go loose on you, so you're going to lose all your work. Okay, all right, we can see the center very clearly, and we can see that we're going to have a nice pom because it's pretty full. Okay, grab a piece of yarn that's about, for this project, well, for almost any project, 18 inches is just about perfect, because you want it to have a long tail, because you want to be able to attach it easily. Okay, what I do is I just eyeball it. I fold it in half. Okay, then I put the center right there, and then just stick it in that center space. Okay, pull it around. Okay, and then all we're gonna do is tie it. Now, when you first tie it, you're gonna be shocked at how tight you have to pull it, and really how it goes in there. But go ahead, and I do that with my pom-poms at least 3 times. 3 times of a good tug. Don't pull it so tight that you break the yarn, but just give it just really, really tightly. Okay. Now what you want to do to release your pom-pom is just pull these up. Okay. Now separate by pulling the white space in the center together. Okay. Now, you're going to have to groom your pom a little bit. I just beat mine pretty good at first. And then I look at it. Now, I'm not going to do it here because this is my workspace and I don't feel like cleaning it up. I'm sorry. But what I will do is I will take my sharp scissors and I will just give it a nice trim. So it's just like, it's like anything else. It might need a little bit of a haircut, and that's okay. But go ahead and do that. And then after you do that, all you have to do is get your project and a crochet hook, and then just pull wherever you're going to attach it. Just pull a tail through like that. Then pull the other tail through, and then tie it, and then weave your tails. And that's how you make a pom-pom. Okay, thank you so much again for stopping by, and happy crocheting.